Hello, this is Dr. Helen Jones, and yesterday I had a meeting with one of my dissertation students this year who asked me if I would show her how to access the electronic databases. Well, rather than remind her how to go through this process, I suggested that I create a video on how to do it and then share it amongst you all so that you can all get the benefit of it. So hopefully you'll watch the rest of this video, learn how to access the databases, learn how to use one particular database and to do a simple search. And this yields far better material than if you were to just go into the library even and browse the shelves, and certainly a whole lot better than if you just Googled certain keywords. So let's have a go at accessing the database. Here we are at the MMU homepage. And what we need to do is to go down to the bottom on the left hand side and click on Library. Here we are at the MMU Library, and there's a couple of different ways of going about it. There's the electronic subject resources, but I prefer to just go straight into the electronic library here near the middle of the screen. So let's click there. Electronic library. As you can see, it says before you start, you've got to set MMU as your institution before using Athens resources, and of course the electronic databases are Athens resources. So all you need to do is just click this. It'll take us through to another page in a second. Bear with the system, it's very slow. Okay, and as you can see, it's just simply by clicking that link, it sets the Athens identification on the computer that you're on, and then you can use that computer to access MMU, eJournal and eJournal databases. Okay, so it's saying, thank you, you've now set 2 cookies, blah, 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 blah. Let's go back to the electronic library page. So again, just click on that tab. So we've done that, we've set the Athens resources cookies. So the next thing to do is to try and find some databases by title. That's what I find is the easiest way into the databases. You might have a different way of doing it, but have a crack at trying this. We'll just use one of the databases, and what I find quite useful for criminology is the SAGE full text database. It gives you all of the journals that are produced by SAGE, which is one of the major journal producers. And so I always find plenty of useful information if I use the SAGE full text. And so we'll go into this by clicking on the S for SAGE. Should be the first one on the list when we get there. And indeed it is SAGE full text journal service, and we just need to click on access the service. It'll recognise us as a Manchester metropolitan person once we've gone through the Athens login. There's all sorts of cautionary tales here. I'll just put my user ID in, which is not a confidential number, and I'll also put in my password, which is, so you can't see what it is, that's fine. Click on login and it should take us straight to the database for the SAGE full text resources. Give it a minute for it to recognise us. As you can see, it does take a minute just to load up. There we are. And so there's certain things that we need to do. As you know, I have a research field of rape, sexual violence, gendered violence. So let's just put a very simple keyword in, rape. We need to change these things down here. Social sciences, let's choose the date range. We don't really want the very earliest ones that they have. I think anything from 2002 through to the current day is probably okay. So there you go, very simple search. Click on the search button and let's see how many useful pieces of information it yields for us. As you can see, published works here, 7,430, which is pretty amazing. I would be interested in the peer-reviewed journals to do any sort of bit of research work towards an article that I might be wanting to write. And if we just sort of scoot down them, what sort of things are we finding? Well, perhaps there's quite a lot of American type of articles, because Sage is a huge publisher. But as you can see, there's a variation of journals that it's drawing from. Communication research, feminist criminology features quite heavily here, administration and society, armed forces and society. I didn't even know such a journal existed. European Journal of Criminology, that's probably going to be quite useful, isn't it? International Journal of Offender Therapy and Comparative Criminology. As you can see, these are all really good resources, and it's these sort of links down at the bottom of each of the resources that are identified that are useful to you. And as you can see, for each of these, the full text is provided, and because you're an MMU student, that means you'll get that delivered to you. Let's just try one of these. Let's see if I can find one that I particularly find interesting. Media images of women in prison. Let's have a crack at that. Let's try opening the full text of that particular article. I think I did click it, didn't I? Yeah. It's just going to start opening up now. Okay, so it does all the searching for you. All you've done is click on a button. It's now contacting the provider of that particular journal article. And hopefully in a second or two you'll see that we'll be able to open it and start reading it straight away. I think sometimes the system is quicker than at other times. I'm pretty sure that it's a busy time of the year at the moment, and that's why it's taken its time. But it'll get there. I can see it's trying to open something up. Right, there we are. That's the actual article. You can see from at the bottom of the screen there, one of 23, so it's 23 pages long. And we've got each of those pages. Look, there's the whole article. And as I say, there's such a quicker process than browsing the shelves or Googling for material which is of very dubious quality. Here you're getting really good stuff delivered straight to your computer. You don't even have to print it out. There might just be a snippet that you want to use, in which case you choose the select tool. You decide, oh, that's a pretty good sentence. I'll cut and paste that into my essay, remembering, of course, to put quote marks around it and reference it properly. Yeah? Okay, that's it. I hope that will be useful to you. Might be worth just watching it over again. You might want to turn the sound down on my voice. But try it out for yourself. The more times you use the databases, the more familiar you'll get with them, the easier you'll find it. And as I say, it yields quality materials far better than what you'll get in Google. Bye for now.